Hello, you're listening to Sports Hour with me, Caroline Barker, on the BBC World Service. Now, this time next year, crews will be making their final preparations for the Volvo Ocean Race in Alicante in Spain. The race, which takes sailors around the world, is one of the sport's greatest challenges. And expect a bit of history next year, with new rules designed to increase the number of female sailors taking part. Various crew combinations will be allowed. Men-only lineups will be limited to 7 sailors, while an all-female crew can number 11. And there'll be various combinations in between, such as 7 men and 2 women. The makeup of crews can be altered for different legs of the race. Still following? Is it a positive move, though? Australian sailor Phil Harmer twice won the race, and Britain's Abby Ehler also has taken part twice. Last time out, she was a member of the all-female SCA team, which won the Lisbon to Lorient leg, and also enjoyed success in some of the shorter contests staged in the ports visited by the race.
From my point of view, and I think in general, it's a very good move. It's a very bold move, but I think it's the only way, really, to guarantee that there will be a better gender diversity going forwards.
Why do you say a bold move?
I think it's bold because it is such a male-dominated race. Female participation in the race has only been in an all-female environment, racing against the guys. So this will be the first time that it's been a mixed crew, and it's an enforced mixed crew as opposed to people wanting to go down that route.
Well, I feel putting you in a difficult position maybe, but why has this not happened before? Why does it need to be enforced?
I'm not sure if it does need to be enforced. I think if people think it's the right thing, then people will do it. Obviously, there's going to be some advantages to having a mixed crew because you will have extra people on board, which is always handy. But forcing people into a corner is not necessarily the right thing.
Yeah, but Phil, if this wasn't enforced, I mean, what would the landscape look like 10 years down the road?
I'm all for having women in the race, don't get me wrong. But I don't know if forcing people to do it is the right thing. I think the better option is to make sure that there's a girls' boat in the race for starters. Because if you look at the results, you know, you guys did really well last race. You were third in the import, you won 2 imports, and you won a leg. I mean, that's a pretty good starting point. And it's almost, to me, it almost feels like a step backwards.
Is it tokenism?
No, definitely not. I don't think so. But just to carry on from Phil, what you were saying, I mean, the problem with being an all-female team is that we lack that experience, and there's that limit, the ceiling that is created by, you know, people learning from inexperienced people, and there's only so far we can go. And sure, if we were to go again as a female team, you know, we would step it up to the next level, but the progress is slow. And I think by integrating it so that we can sail with mixed teams, it gives women the opportunity to sail with guys like yourself, Phil, that have done 4 races, you know, 3 races, 2 races. It's going to take us years to get to that level where we're mixing with girls that have done the race a number of times before.
As I say, I think the concept is great. I just don't think it's been thought out that well. I mean, I'm not too sure how the crew dynamics is going to work. Having 2 girls, a man's boat can be a pretty nasty place to be after 30 days. And I think the crew dynamic will be an interesting one. Whether it ends up being good or bad, I don't know yet. But
because you won't be able to tell all your blokey jokes.
Well, part of that. Or I think the boys will still tell their blokey jokes, which may make it uncomfortable.
In reality, though, the girls that are sailing at this sort of level, I mean, they've all come from sailing on mixed crews. They know what it's like, and at the end of the day, they're there to do the race, you know. And sure, I mean, it's not a pleasant thing being on a girls' boat for 30 days. So I really
can imagine. But how are people going to feel knowing that some people are going to look at it and say the girls are only here for the rule, and if they weren't here, they wouldn't have been chosen? And how are the girls going to get treated, and then how are the girls going to feel knowing that there's 7 guys looking at them thinking like that?
Yeah, but I think you've got to turn it around. The rule is in place here, and basically it's going to be up to a team manager or a skipper to work out how they can maximise performance against that rule. And so if you think it's beneficial to take 2 girls on every leg or on some legs, then that's the way forward. And that'll be their responsibility to make sure that those 2 or 1 crew are part of the team, because that's the only way you're going to get the best out of people.
Let's flip it around the other way then. The race starting in a little over a year's time. Either of you, will you be taking part? And if so, what makeup will you want on the boat? How's it going to be balanced male-female? Abby?
I've done 2 races before with a 12-year gap in the middle, partly because the opportunity wasn't there. I really can't say whether I will do the race again or not. I have changes with family, etc., etc. But it's really going to come down to thinking about the rule and what is available, what is going to be the best formula for the longer legs, the shorter legs. I mean, maybe you go max crew in terms of shorter legs, which are fairly more intense, and then you would knock it down for the longer legs. I don't know. It's a numbers game and a performance game.
Bill?
I've spent 10 years now doing the race, and I've done the last 4, and for sure I'd love to do it again. I think it's one of the most amazing sporting events in the world, and to be involved in it is a privilege. So, yeah, for sure I'd like to do it again, and whether it's with girls or whether it's without girls, I'll be involved in, hopefully, in some of that decision making, and I'm not going to sit here today and say I'm definitely not going to do it with girls, because that would just be stupid to say that. So there are girls, and especially girls like Abby in the world, that can do it, and to find the right girls and to get the right team environment is going to be the way to win the race. So
you think it will work?
Yeah, I think it has to. For the sake of the race, it's going to have to work, otherwise we won't have the race. And I think it's great for the race, and I think it will encourage some sponsors and it may deter others. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the setup, the makeup is. Sponsors are either going to be interested in the race or they're not. And it does offer another marketing opportunity. And is that your seagull, Abby? Is it?
It's keeping an eye on me in case you get vicious.
Go on, Abby, finish your point.
It's basically reflecting the way the world of business is going, and there are proven results that, gender diversity is benefiting companies, the financial industry, whatever it is, it's a benefit. So I think the race is therefore is following the way of the world.
Sailors Abby Ehler and Phil Harmer.